I'm gonna do what I normally do best. I'm gonna put a common sense approach to this matter, and I'm gonna throw it against the wall and see where it sticks. And I see, I understand the whole zoning issue. I'm not ignorant to that, but I'm not. This isn't an industrial light zoning that we're given here tonight that could have all different types of uses. It's not an industrial heavy zoning that could have all different types of uses. It's not a commercial general zoning that could have different types of uses. It is a straight, strict zoning for nothing other than mining. It's not for building convenience stores. It's not for building shopping centers or parking lots or storage facilities. It's for building a mine. That's what the zoning's for. So when I look at these 15 criteria, I have to look at the criteria that I'm looking at. How are they going to affect what it's saying here? And I have, you know, the other land that's been zoned this for however many years, what, the 9,000 acres for how many years? 30 years? 30 years. Yeah, it ain't bothered nobody. It ain't done nothing, of course, because they ain't never asked to do nothing with it yet. Right? So it's never been asked, it's never been questioned to do nothing with it. Now, had they been mining it, then it would be there'd be a different answer there. But the way it's set there idle, it ain't affected anything. But I'll just go ahead and start with 15 considerations. The way I see them is number 2, the existing land use patterns. It will allow to continue for agricultural uses if it's changed to PMI. But at the same time, they'll be able to start lifting that dirt and changing the whole outlook of that country out there. So I believe it does in somewhat change the existing land use pattern out there by changing this zoning. Number 3, is it an isolated district unrelated to adjacent nearby districts? Yeah, because of what it is. It's agriculture now. We're going to change it to a mining district. There's already a mining district there right now. I understand that, but everything else around it is ag. I'm pretty sure it's ag on the other side of the county line from it also. I may be wrong, but I think it is. Pretty sure it is. So it is somewhat isolated because of the type of zoning that it is. Number 7, whether the proposed change will adversely influence living conditions in the area. I believe it will, very much so. If you've gone to living in that part of the country without hearing trains chugging up down the tracks, excess traffic on the highways, the mining, the actual drag lines are running. I work on a place during the week that is building a community, and from 2.5 to 3 miles away, I can hear them backup beepers. Somebody's talking about the ocean fires. I can hear them all day long. If I stop and listen for them, I can hear them. If I'm busy doing something, running a piece of equipment myself, I don't hear it. But if I was at home, or if I was at the horse barn trying to catch me a nap, I can hear them. And they're 2.5 miles away from me with a strip of pines in between us. So, yes, it will change the living conditions. And not just the zoning, but what the zoning represents. It'll change living conditions in that area, as far as I'm concerned. Number 8, whether the proposed change will create or excessively increase traffic congestion or otherwise affect public safety. I'm not sure about the public safety as much on the traffic-wise, if that's what it's actually talking about, because 70 is a pretty good sized road, and if you're paying attention, hopefully hopefully you won't get in no crashes or wrecks, but if that's what this is talking about, and I believe that's what it is, talking about public safety as it pertains to traffic. If that railroad crosses 70 and it holds traffic up certain times of the day, it's going to create congestion. Anytime you stop a line of cars that are moving at 70 to 80 miles an hour, I'm sure that most folks drive that speed out there, because if you're not, you'll get run over when you're out there. So when you slow that traffic down, I remember I was working here in the courthouse when Hurricane Charlie come through, or maybe it was one of the storms after Charlie, that the East Coast was trying to vacate, and you literally almost could not get across the road out here to get over to the library to get in your truck, and had to drive all the back roads to go to eat lunch, because you couldn't get on 70 going west. There wasn't no way to get on it. So yeah, if you put a train track across that road, and you've got employees driving back on that road, you're gonna create traffic congestion. Whether number 9, whether the proposed change will create a drainage problem, I believe it will. It's going to impede drainage the way it's normally used to flowing. And I've heard a lot of talk about the red tide and the different things. Lake O, dumping all that water and stuff, and I'm no hydrologist, and I'm no scientist or engineer or whatever, but I believe anytime you hold water up the way that we do, God didn't intend that water to be held up. And anytime you hold that water up, you allow those concentrations of things. And there's a lot of you in here that may have a house on the river or on the creek. You contribute to it too. You can't point the finger at just one thing. Your septic tank, I guarantee you, your ground's saturated at your house right now. If you get a flood, guess where your waste goes? So you contribute to it too. So the drainage problem, there will be drainage problems, because you're going to impede drainage if it's normal flow. And that area out there is very, that's a wet part of the country, and it can get wet fast. You can cross Horse Creek one day and not get the top of your boots wet, the next day you can float your hat.
Right.
It happens fast.
Right.
So I do believe it's going to do that. Number 11, whether the proposed change will adversely affect property values in the adjacent area. Was it Mr. Matt? Mr. Matt, I'm not taking nothing away from you. I know you're a professional at what you do. I've been around appraisers quite a few times in my life, so I'm not taking away nothing from you, but I'm going to use my gut and my common sense approach to things. And if there's a drag line sitting 100 feet or 200 feet off a fence line, banging and pulling dirt all day and all night long, and equipment running, and you got a piece of property sitting there that you want to get rid of, you're not going to be able to sell it for fair market value.
Right.
You cannot make me believe that unless you can actually show me where a drag line is running, and you can show me sales around that drag line that are consistent with sales that are not anywhere around that area. That's the only way you can prove that.
Right.
Because I know just as sure as I'm saying. The only thing that it may change, it could make property values go up, is if you own a piece of property next to it.
Right.
That would benefit the mining
Right.
operation. Then that property is going to be worth quite a bit of money.
Right.
So it can either way, up or down. So yes, on that one. In 15, whether it's out of scale with surrounding area, you're mining in an area that's been agriculture for ever since the good Lord created it. I guess that kind of puts it out of scale with the surrounding area. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm probably gonna be in favor of voting for denial. And if I need to, I'll go ahead and put that in a motion. I think I've got it lined out here where I'd like to put it, if it pleases the board. I'll put it to a motion and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, at this time, based on the facts that I have just read into the